Now we move on to our next story, Israel and Gaza. Gaza's Ministry of Health has said that attacks in the past 24 hours have killed at least 74 people and injured 391 people. At least 21 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli strikes near food aid centers in Nusei-rat and Rafah. Many were waiting for supplies. Witnesses say Israeli forces opened fire without warning. In southern Gaza's Khan Yunis, a bomb blast hit an Israeli armed vehicle. 7 Israeli soldiers were killed. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu called it a very difficult day. At a funeral in Tel Aviv, Israeli President Isaac Herzog asked for forgiveness on behalf of the state. He mourned Jonathan Samerano and others, saying Israel failed to protect and rescue them from Hamas captivity. Here's what the Israeli president has said.
ניצב כאן וכנשיא מדינת ישראל בשם מדינת ישראל. מבקש מיונתן ואיתו גם מעופרה ומשי האהובים סליחה. סליחה שמדינת ישראל לא הגנה עליכם. סליחה שלא הספקנו להציל אתכם מיד מרצחים. סליחה שלקח זמן רב כל כך להשיב אתכם מידי מפלצות.
Despite the increasing death tolls, U.S. President Donald Trump highlighted what he described a great progress in Gaza, crediting recent U.S. strikes on Iran for shifting the conflict. Meanwhile, U.S. has approved $30 million in emergency funding for the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, an organization supported by both the U.S. and Israel, which currently manages most of the aid distribution in Gaza. However, the United Nations has expressed strong criticism of the system. The head of UNRWA labeled the GHF as a death trap and an abomination. UN officials have raised concerns that the militarization of aid distribution may violate international law and endanger civilians. Now we have guests joining us, Adrian Calamere. He's a terror scholar joining us live from New York. Thank you, Adrian, for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. Is the current military approach in Gaza achieving long-term security, or is it fueling deeper resentment that could prolong this conflict?
That's a great question, Asuma. Great to see you again. It really is grinding this conflict, and that's the problem with conflicts like this, is that you want a swift resolution to this, and that has not happened. It's been drawn out over the course of well over a year and a half. So does this breed more resentment? Yeah, we absolutely see this. We see this in the streets of America. We see this around the world. We see that actors are going to seize on the death tolls, whatever Hamas is putting out, that they're going to seize on the reports of shooting at aid stations, at places where people could receive food. So the longer this goes on, the more resentment will grow. And this is part of the Islamic Republic's playbook, is to keep Israel off balance. Now we'll have to see, now since we've seen the actions that the Israelis took against the Islamic Republic of Iran, does that shift their focus in the way they approached Gaza? Because that war isn't done now. They're still uncovering a lot of tunnels. They just uncovered a new one the other day. That was probably the biggest one they've seen. And so there's still a lot of work to be done there, which is the problem here. And
now, how does the killing of 7 Israeli soldiers in Khan Yunis complicate the situation here, while leadership of military and political calculus going forward?
I don't think that will shift anything. If it would shift anything, it would shift the Israeli rules of engagement on the battlefield. But for all the abuse that Israel has taken from the world about their killing of civilians and the civilian loss in Gaza, they have conducted themselves at great risk to themselves, where they have taken on much higher losses that were necessary. if let's say they conducted this battle the way the Iraqi Popular Mobilization Front did with American help to take over Mosul. That was against ISIS. And in that situation, there were 600 ISIS fighters holding down 60,000 a population of 60,000 people, and they leveled the entire city. That was the order given down, and we didn't hear screams and cries from anybody anywhere. But that was a 60-to-1 civilian ratio there. So Israel has acted on a very if you want to look at the rules of war, people say that they're breaking the rules of war. They are simply, they just are not breaking the rules of war. If there are violations, they are investigated by the Israelis. The loss of these troops would, it would propel some leaders to say, you know what, we're going to go in there. This is total war now. We're just going to finish the job. But the Israelis will continue to go along and try and spare as many innocent lives as possible while taking out the bad guys who are hiding directly behind them.
And building on that now, today, 7 Israeli soldiers, including a lieutenant, were killed. And does this point to an underestimation of Hamas capabilities on the ground?
No, I don't think it does. This is just basically what Hamas does. We have to look at the terrain that has become Gaza because of the bombing and trying to clear it out. It makes it a place that's great for snipers, great for ambushes, roadside bombs, these type of things. They understand urban asymmetric warfare and the type that Hamas uses, and that's they go into battle fully knowing what they're going to expect. The enemy always gets a vote, but Hamas is basically they've seen everything basically that Hamas can throw at them. These things happen in war. It's very unfortunate.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Dion Calamer, all the way from New York. Now we move on to our next story. Looking at Kenya,